one of the tragedies of our time is the poor state of education in our country. The education that white kids receive is nothing to write home about. Indeed, it turns out that college freshmen, roughly 50% of incoming college freshmen need remedial math and remedial English. But the education that black kids are receiving is a national disgrace. And some recent evidence of this has to do with the Baltimore schools. And the Baltimore schools is just one among many schools that have the similar problem. It turns out that in 13 of the 39 Baltimore schools, not a single student tested proficient in math. And in 6 other Baltimore schools, only 1% tested proficient in math. Now, some people say, well, gee, the problem is finances. Well, it turns out that's just plain nonsense. That is, of the 100 largest school districts in the country, Baltimore ranks 4th in terms of spending on students. Now, part of the tragedy of this is that these kids are incompetent in math and incompetent in English, but they receive their high school graduation diplomas. Last June, for example, just one school in Baltimore where 90% of the students scored the lowest possible score one can get on the math exam, they held graduation exercises. And the families were proud of their sons and daughters, and some of them even won scholarships to colleges. Now, the social tragedy involved in fraudulent diplomas is that these black students, as well as their families, they think that their kid has a high school diploma just like the white kid has a high school diploma. And so if these kids can't get good jobs, they can't pass a civil service exam, they flunk out of college, well, the tendency is to attribute it to racism. They'll say, well, my son or my daughter, or the person will say, I have a high school diploma and a white kid has a high school diploma, but he's moving ahead much more rapidly than me. And so they'll call it racial discrimination. Now, there's only one solution to this problem. That is, we need more school choice. We need to break the education monopoly and give parents more choice. That is, there are a number of parents who want their kids to get a good education and they're willing to sacrifice, and the kids themselves, they want a good education. But however, if they're in a rotten school, they will not get a good education. So the solution for many black children, and as white children as well, is for us to have school choice. That is, to give vouchers or tuition tax credits or even charter schools. We must do something about the education rot that's happening in our country.